A quick overview of the research paper style. It should include, as I mentioned in class, the cover page. There has to be a table of contents right after the cover page. Then we have the body of the text, followed by the references in a certain style. The style that I mentioned first was the APA style, American Psychological Association style. That's because business schools follow their style in their research papers. You can pick some other style if you'd like. The goal is consistency in references. So we have the names of the authors, followed by the year, then the title of the publication, and then we have the title of the paper, and then the publication in which it appeared. So you can review this and see that the consistency in citing the works sometimes pushes the date or the year of publication pretty far into the first line, but that is to be expected. So the goal of this is just to maintain consistency, so I can see that you've done your own work, and you also know that the style that you chose in the beginning of your work remained here in the final cut, and there was an effort to make sure that the quality is there. So you can see that the title page here doesn't have a page number. It does have the university name first, then the title of the research, student name. This B could be lowercase b. This was corrected by Microsoft. I decided not to correct it because some instructors actually require this B to be a capital B. It's okay. Then this is the course that you're taking, the instructor for whom you're writing, and of course the semester in which this takes place. Okay, so there's no page number here. Some tables of contents are long, so Roman numerals will indicate that this is not the main body of the text. For our purposes, one page is enough, and a Roman numeral, lowercase I, will work. Then when the text itself starts, the regular Arabic numerals are, for our purposes, on the bottom of the page, and of course they are all in sequence. Next, for this particular paper, I requested 1.5 lines in spacing. Also, you see the indent for the first line here, and that's how this style makes it easier for the instructor to read your work. Now, achieving this difference in page numbering is possible within the Word. For this to happen, you need to be in the Layout tab, then choose this command, breaks, and then go to next page. Then after you do that, you will have to deal with the header and footer commands. This one will allow you to unlink the two pages, the breaks between which you have just inserted. And then in theory, at least in Microsoft theory, you can have the entire document built this way, and you'll be in complete control of the page numbering which you will choose for this document. Unfortunately, in practice, this does not work all that well. MS Word displays very complex behavior after these commands are used. So in reality, I always actually use separate files for these sections of the document, and then I use the PDF printer as the printer. Go to File and Print. Then instead of the ink printer or laser printer, you use, I'm not sure you see this, let me make, you choose the Adobe PDF printer. It keeps jumping all the way to the, yeah, there's nothing I can do. It's going to be that high. Anyway, you choose a software printer. In this case, it's the PDF printer. Then you create separate files, which you then build in Adobe Acrobat DC, which is the latest edition of it, you cannot build this in the Reader. Now here at school, every lab has Adobe Acrobat DC installed on every machine. So once you have your pages printed by the software printer, which saves them as PDF files, you can bring your files here to school and use the DC. Let me make sure you see this. This is professional, by the way. Use the DC to build your files. You go here to the left, open the building pane, and you can rearrange, you can drag and rearrange the pages here in any way you want, or you can bring them in from outside. Like this way, you're going to drag them from a different directory, insert the new files here in the building pane. You see we have 9 pages. Before I insert the new file, now we have 16. Then you click on Save, and that's how you build your final document. Next, you can control the structure of each page by pressing on this paragraph marks here. This is under Home. You see how many times the Enter key has been pressed. You can count this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so 12 times is aesthetically pleasing. There is no real standard for this. MS Word provides a large number of title page styles, but for you to know what you're doing, it's always good to click on the paragraph marks to see what the structure is. Then you turn this off just by clicking again on it. You do the same for table of contents. You're going to see how it's structured. Of course, the ones that stretch for several pages will have a tighter listing of the sections of the text. For our purposes, 1 page is enough. Okay, let me turn this off. As you can see, for the table of contents, the finished version, it does require a header. The page number and the header. Then, when your text starts, you make sure your name is showing, the title of the document is showing, as does the course number with the page number. The template which I posted, of course, doesn't have any concrete topic mentioned here or any student name. It also contains the filler or placeholder text, which you can, of course, you should replace with the text that you put together. What this thing is, you can see here, for example, this Wikipedia article explains what this is. It's a typical thing if you have never seen it. I know some people have seen this in high school, so if their teachers there required the amount of structure in the texts that students created there, if that amount of structure is anywhere near to what expected at the university, then of course they've seen this. If this is your first time, you can just briefly read about this, but basically it's just a tradition in publishing. And it tells you what an approximate structure will be, and then this filler text is replaced with the actual text. Also, there are more ways to automate your work in Word. For example, you can create the automated first line indents. Never worked for me. I always do this by hand. Sometimes when I'm in a hurry and I only need to create a couple of pages, I do utilize the automated indents. But usually the texts which I create and the people that I know create, they don't really tolerate that much of automation and predictive behavior on the part of Microsoft Word. So if you have seen this, try it. If not, actually not automating your work will save your time. For inspiration, you can look on YouTube. Some of the videos which people post here for structure of research paper are quite good. Try this one. These ones are pretty good as well. I don't want to play any of this. I want this video to be as short as possible. But if you've never done this, you'll probably have to invest 2 minutes, as you can see here, or more in investigating this. Okay, so your final research paper will help you get organized, will train you, if done in this manner, will train you in this paper writing craft, and it will make my job easier. I'll be able to grade your papers faster. And of course, anything looking like this in terms of a structure obviously deserves an A. And if you don't make any big mistakes in your writing, I'll be happy to give you the full credit for your paper. So this was written by someone who is very attentive, who always attends class, and she always turned her work on time. Not surprisingly, habits like this belong to a person who writes well and retains a lot of knowledge. So I wanted you to see this, and hopefully you will follow this example unless you've developed a style of your own, which can lead to a good grade or maybe the full credit. Okay, that's the end of the video.